Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the Sunday edition of the Paranormal Weekend Morning Brew Show. I'm Nighthawk, and I don't know if Eric's going to be here this morning, so we're just going to get into the thick of it. We got some things to discuss today. I'm not sure how long it's going to go for the podcast this morning because I am definitely not feeling 100% today. So, unless something good happens, I don't know if I'm going to be able to stick it out. Anyways, let's do the disclaimer and get rid of all the so-called censorship stuff out of the way. So, copyright disclaimer is Nighthawk High Strange, this podcast channel, may use some copyrighted materials without specific authorization of the owner, but contends that it falls under the Fair Use, which is the Copyright Act of 1976, otherwise known as the Fair Use Act. Nighthawk High Strange's podcast channel and all the podcasts on the channel declare fair use of any and all content, including the music and any audio lasting more than a minute. Under Section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976 for purposes such as criticism, commentary, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, research, parody, and general knowledge only. And let's not forget the entertainment value per Title 107, Section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976, otherwise known as the Fair Use Act. All right, let me get that off of there. I'm going to play a short clip for you all. It's of a young man, and it's an animation, and I found it very, very interesting, especially with what's going on today and with what's going on in Hollywood, with AI taking over doing movies in Hollywood and Hollywood actors not having to actually act and getting paid for it, and sometimes not getting paid for it. So, anyways, I want to play this short clip for you, and I may have to cut the audio out, but we'll see. We'll see. Here we go.
Stay woke.
File in the Illuminati archive.
Okay, that's Keanu now, and here he is in Bram Stoker's Dracula in 1992.
He's barely aged a day. How old are these photos? And who are all these women? Hollywood immortals? The Illuminati has spread their message using the charisma of actors for centuries, but get this, they found a way to keep them alive so their star power never dies.
Hollywood's leading men are...
Yes, that is the Illuminati conspiracy. And I don't think it's really a conspiracy anymore. If you know, you've been watching Hollywood for some time, okay, just like everybody. There are certain people in Hollywood that seem not to age. And it's been talked about on several TV shows. Well, I might as well say it. Ellen is one of them. Okay. And if you all know the Ellen show, she always got into some sketchy stuff on the show. But she's currently says she's retiring. Okay. And I use the air quotes on that, retiring. Doesn't mean she's going to disappear completely, but she just might, you know. There was several actors and actresses on her show that admitted to taking basically the foreskin of Korean babies and using them like Botox, and the blood of children and young adults is being used. And it's been talked about a lot in Hollywood. And it's been exposed a lot lately too. Okay, so let's remember that there are certain people in charge. And do you think there's anything called coincidence? Because the coincidency thing is a certain subject yesterday getting shot at, okay, and actually being hit in the ear. To say the least, the cabal whatever you want to call them, the cabal, the Hollywood elite Eternals, Immortals, um, the military industrial complex, which is intermixed with some of the Hollywood elitist. There is several things that need to be brought out. Okay. Over the next week, if I'm feeling up to it, I'll be putting out several videos on it, and putting them up on a member's site, and maybe even a couple of them on YouTube, that I will pre-record. There's just so much going on in the world today, and definitely I'm not feeling 100%, so bear with me. The thing that gets me is they say to follow the money. Okay, well, here's where the money goes to. Okay, right here. BlackRock, Vanguard, State Street, and Berkshire Hathaway is where the money goes to. Okay, now we take that and we actually look at what has been dubbed as CERN messing with things, okay, with the timelines, with the whole portals being opened up from hell, and entities, certain evil beings inside the Hadron Collider, that they have been interacting with, talking to, I should say. Is it the fallen? There's so much controversy right now when it comes to the Bible and the fallen and everything, and then you have the Anunnaki on top of that, which you have Elil and Enki. Who's the evil one? I've heard people out there, prominent people, saying Elil is the evil one. I've heard Enki's Satan. We don't really know. The one thing that we do know is that the Anunnaki were here. Okay. And, for the longest time, we have been categorized as a prison planet. Okay. And I think it goes way beyond that, because you look at all the missing people, all the government seized land that's put in these federal parks, okay, national parks, and all the people going missing in those parks. They want us to just limit it to one or two things in the parks, whether it's people walking into a portal or people being taken by Bigfoot. They want you scared. They want you singled out. Okay. And when they can do it the best is when you're on their property. Okay. Now, you take the fact of what's going on today. People are losing their homes and their properties. They're having to live in vans and motor homes and tents and and all this. It's kind of ironic, don't you think, that you have people living in tents, losing their land, their ownership to land. The next step in that whole scenario is going to be losing their citizenship. Think about it. How can you have a citizenship if you don't have a permanent address? Okay. All these people that have these PO boxes and stuff like that are going to start seeing their rights being infringed upon slowly and slowly. They may even restrict vehicle registration after a while because it's not an EV. Okay. Well, people out there can't afford an $80,000, $90,000 EV. Okay. Especially nowadays. So we've got that whole mess and scenario in going in with it. So anyways, I just wanted to bring that up today too. I'm going to go to the comment sections and say hello to everybody and see how everybody's doing. All right, let's see. We've got Cynthia, first one in the house. Good to see you, Cynthia. David, good to see you. Good to see you. All right. Roxanne, good to see you. Ozzy Sue, good to see you. Eric's not in, I don't think, unless he's in the chat. So let's see. Uncut Savage, good to see you. All right. Let's see. Ray, good to see you, Ray. All right. I know if David's watching, Melissa's probably watching or listening, one of the two. So good morning, everybody. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Okay. Kyle, good to see you. All right. Let me see here. All right. I'm trying to read the comments too as it goes by. Yeah, with what's happening lately is just it's ridiculous. It's like a bunch of immature children fighting over a box of candy. And that's just my synopsis. That's my political look at it. You know what I mean? As being in the news commentary type of genre this morning. But you have to admit they are very methodical on how they're doing things. Okay, the cabal, whatever you want to call them, the reptilian conspiracy theory has much to do with it. Because we all know about the adrenochrome and all that they take from children when they scare them and get their adrenal levels up and tap into the spine and get the fluids, and that's how they do it. We all know about the dumb facilities underground, the deep underground military bunkers, and stuff being done to humans, and other species, animal species, under the ground and inside all these underground facilities. I got to be careful how I word it, though. Hollywood's tends to stick it in front of our face every chance they get. Okay, and if you think about it, that's actually pretty smart, because then they don't have to deny anything. You know, there has been talk lately about how Jesus isn't real. Jesus was never crucified and all this crap. Well, first off, the actual name of God, and replaced it with the word Lord over 6,000 times in the Bible. Okay. Now, we all know that they're in it. I think it's a Ecclesiastes, where it states that Jesus said to Satan, to Lucifer, not only are you the prince of this world, but you are the God of this world. And we have to be very, very careful how we label things, and how we say things, because every time we say something verbally, we got to remember we're made out of pure energy. Okay, energy and water is all we are. Okay, it's all we are. We're an essence. Okay, and we need to understand that our energy has been affected by the elitist. Let's just use that word for today to cover everybody that is in on this whole crap that's going on nowadays. Let me get a drink of coffee. Hold on a second. Oh, man. Okay. Coffee's good. And this is what I'm drinking, everybody. Yes, it says Jim Beam. Bourbon vanilla coffee. And I like it. I like it a lot. I do. All right. Anyways, I'll bring some to the October camp out too, Uncut Savage, just so you know. Uh, anyways, it is getting pretty bad lately. The whole concept of the paranormal and the supernatural and even the cryptids being are like being bled together. Okay, it's definitely a lot more active. You see a lot of people that are these psychics or mediums and stuff, and tarot card readers and stuff talking a lot about it now. When they read somebody's fortune. um my mother used to do that. My mother used to read tea leaves too for people. I don't know. I don't even know if that's an art anymore. But yeah, tea leaf reading was something that I learned too, as a child. And I mean, I learned it all, and I've done it all. So whether Yeshua believes me or not, I'm no longer a part of that life, and He knows all of our hearts. So we'll just go with that. Um, yeah, Kyle, I know it's been rough for me, bud. I'm sorry I didn't do that live yesterday. Um, I just I don't know what's going on with me right now. It's like I don't have an appetite. I sleep when my body like shuts down. I sleep a lot now, and it's starting to worry me because this is what happened when I had my first cancer battle. When I first found out I had esophageal cancer, I slept a lot, and I used to come home from work, and I used to lay down, and I'd be out until I woke up the next morning. And I did that for the better part of a year before I got diagnosed with the cancer. So, but it is what it is anymore, guys. I'm learning to deal with it. So, Jonathan, good to see you. Juno, good to see you. But I get tired a lot, and I just don't have the strength to do podcasts every now and then. And I'm getting concerned because it is acting like it was before. So yeah, so you understand then, Kyle? Yeah, we'll get it checked out, man. All right, definitely get it checked out. I I definitely I need to take care of a few things before I take care of it. Been trying to find a way to come up with a wheelchair van, because yes, I've been using a wheelchair a lot lately too, and a walker, because my legs tend to go completely haywire on me, and I don't have any feeling in them, numbness. I have no way to control them sometimes, and the same with my vision. My vision will go every now and then too. I'll be talking to Tracy one minute, and the next I'll be telling her, "Oh, my vision's going," and it's limiting to me. It really is. Starflower, good to see you. Um, it's just I know I'm losing a connection. Okay, the conduit is starting to go, that I used to be, um, from this world to the spirit world. So, but I don't really even care to even talk about it anymore. Whatever happens, happens. I mean, what can I do? I'm mortal. I'm not an immortal. And the immortals, subject wise, we've seen it dozens upon dozens of times. Um, Pictures brought up of certain individuals like Leonardo DiCaprio, um, Keanu Reeves, Ellen. And in fact, in one of the pictures, Ellen was actually a guy, but had the same facial features, same earlobes, same nose, same eye set, you know, same color eyes. Um, And the same with what's going on with the missing children. I mean, it's all connected. Okay. Now, whether we believe it or not, there are cryptids. Okay, because we haven't discovered every species that this world has to offer. There's no way, because we've only studied 5% of the oceans. Think about that. 5% of all the water on this planet has had man go through it. Okay. Now, it's not like they're going through it with a fine tooth and comb. Um, when they say explored, I don't think they mean all the way to the bottom. Um, and we all know the deeper you go, the bigger the fish. Um, Look at that one great white shark that's out there called Big Blue. That thing's 24 feet long, weighs over 2 tons practically. You know, I mean, there's things out there that we have no idea. Okay, we really have no idea. Because they're finding new species every day. Good morning, Stuart. Good to see you. Yeah, Ray, get that checked out, man. If you're getting headaches again, and eye problems, get that checked out. And I don't mean like you can go to an optometrist, whatever you want to do, an eye doctor. But I would also request your doctor to do a blood work, just in case, because trust me, guys, you don't want to get this. Okay. And then they're talking about this bird flu virus thing too. I've noticed that animals are starting to get affected by the bird flu. Because there's a lot of feral cats around here. People just seem to dump them off, and Tracy and I get stuck feeding them all. In fact, another one just got pregnant the other day and just had a litter of about 6 of them a couple months ago. So it's just, it's ridiculous. But yeah, we feed all these feral cats, and I've noticed that sometimes when they go after the birds and stuff, and I find like the remains of feathers on the ground and stuff, and the plume and all that, and you won't see the cats for days and days after that, after they eat that bird, or if you do, they're vomiting or they're very lethargic, okay, until it gets out of their system. So I don't know if cats are building up an immunity to this bird flu or not. That's just what I've observed. Okay. Because we feed all these cats around here with what little food we have. So, Blue Doe, good to see you. It's getting to the point where they're starting to do this fear campaign. And when I say we have to remember that, like I've said 100 times, societies, civilizations are built on top of civilizations. And instead of going and progressive nature over top of one another, like more advanced civilizations building on top of lesser advanced civilizations, we're finding out more and more now that civilizations prior to ours have been more advanced than ours. So it doesn't make sense. Where did they go? Where did Atlantis go? There's been theories out there with Atlantis about it being, a basically a huge like craft, round craft that was under the water, and it just took off and left one day. I do believe that might be part of it, but when they talk about the fall of Atlantis, they're talking about it going under the water, and disappearing. So maybe it's still on the bottom of the oceans. We don't know that because we haven't explored all the oceans. Remember, 5%. And the same goes for the land mass. Think about all the millions upon millions of acres that our federal government owns, okay, that that basically areas that we're not even allowed to go in. Okay. There was a report in Glacier National Park several years ago of these three women were walking down the railroad tracks going through the park, and they came across a railroad car with the old iron chains and stuff where they chained your ankles to the wall and your wrist, to the chains that you can move about that far. They found train cars in a row, connected in a row with those setups in them, 20 or 30 at a time, why? And we're talking like this happened in the 90s and 1990s. Okay. And it was reported around 2000. You have to wonder, is it because they're doing experimentation back inside the national parks? Is it because they're actually processing the adrenochrome through the national parks, the back areas of the national parks where we're not allowed to go? It's been proven that there are just locations around the world where people aren't supposed to be. Mount Shasta is another one. Those of you that heard of Mount Shasta, you know that Lemurians are said to live underneath Mount Shasta, okay, inside the mountain of Mount Shasta. They're supposed to be this big crystal city. Good morning, Stephen. Good to see you, brother. So we've got this big crystal city under Mount Shasta, and nobody's explored it. Okay. Ever since the one guy said that he found it, I haven't even heard from him. I haven't seen him or anything like that. Speaking out about it. So sorry, that's the coffee. Anyways, put my Bigfoot back up there. All right. Anyways, the whole idea of immortals is not that far-fetched, is my point. Okay. When we don't really know what's under our feet or under our, the oceans, who can say that there's no such thing as immortals? I believe that immortals can come in different types. You have your vampiric immortals, you have your werewolf immortals, you have your reptilian immortals, you have your Anunnaki immortals. Okay. In India, you have the Naga, the immortals. You know what I mean? The Egyptians believed big time in immortality. Okay. That's why they preserved the bodies the way they did and processed them and mummified them. Okay. So Archuleta Mesa, yeah, exactly, Savage, exactly. Archuleta Mesa is exactly the dumb facilities and stuff, just like and I have to wonder too, though, Savage, with that one with the Dulce, New Mexico, Archuleta Mesa. I have to wonder if that was there the entire time. Like, say, how our military builds underground bunkers and stuff for national defense. Yeah, basically, it's to save their asses and not ours. But I almost think that facility in Archuleta Mesa has been there for a very long time before the military started putting in dumbs. Okay, so I believe that facility. I think they said that it was like 17 levels deep, which means the humans, the U.S. military people, or men in black, whatever you want to call them, only have access to the first 7 levels, and anything below that, they're not allowed to go in because it's humans being experimented on. And, you go to any reservation in the United States and Canada and look at the number of young people that are missing. You know, some of the reservations now have MS-13 on them. And yes, some of these young ladies and young men are being abducted and basically human trafficked. Some of them will be south of the border, working off for whatever, you know, cartel there is in charge. Um, how many of you know or remember back in the 70s and the 60s about the Iran Contra affair? About the CIA working with the drug lords, bringing cocaine over to the United States, and LSD and other drugs, and basically using those drugs for MK Ultra, for the mind control experimentation that they were doing on the public, okay, on our parents and our aunts and uncles and all that back in those years. Um, they do this type of stuff all the time, and it goes back to just the whole prison planet thing. And everybody can say that that's just a theory, that it's a prison planet, but I really, really think that we're like I've said it 100 times. I've said it a dozen. It's we're literally cattle, okay, and we are in like this. Picture a petri dish that you stick underneath a microscope. You know, I mean that's kind of life we're living. Okay, they control what food we eat. They control what kind of weather we have, and that's a whole nother subject we're going to get into today. Is the weather. Um, they control what you watch on TV and on the internet. They monitor everything. Okay, right? NSA, peace. NSA, CIA, FBI, all the three-letter agencies monitor everything. They're they're listening to this show, obviously. I don't doubt it, but you know, it is what it is. We've never really had freedom. We've never really tasted freedom, because if you were free, truly free, you wouldn't be paying taxes upon taxes upon taxes. Okay. And you wouldn't be forced into EV vehicles, battery operated vehicles. Okay. Um, you wouldn't have them controlling the gas prices the way they are. You wouldn't have them controlling the food prices the way they are. And, you know, the whole thing is an experiment. And the way I look at it is that it's an experiment on us. And you know, they've been doing this for so long. It's ridiculous. It really is. I'm just reading some of these. I'm just reading some of the comments, guys. So give me a second. Oh, Ida, good to see you. What do I think of the Chevron decision? Honestly, if it came out recently, I don't even know. I mean, I know that. Oh, you're talking about the Chevy's decision to not do the EVs only, right? Is that what you're talking about? Chevrolet? Let me know, Ida, if that's what you're talking about. Okay. Um, you know, I'm glad that, you know, one of the car manufacturers are standing up for what they believe in. And I think more businesses should, especially small businesses, need to, because they are wiping out completely the lower class and the middle class. Okay. Completely wiping them out. All right. the number of people that they have forced with this shrinkflation into living into their vehicles and losing their homes is you can't fathom it. I mean, there's literally hundreds of thousands of people every week are losing their homes. Okay. And yes, you have to consider too, though, that it's been almost like eminent domain type of a thing when it comes to our government. Yes, we're deceived from childhood to adulthood. So yes, yes. Home is just an illusion. That's all it is. They could take it from you whenever they want, plain and simple. Um, I just saw something weird. Anyways, U.S. Supreme Court ends Chevron level difference to agencies' interpretation of the law. Hmm. Hmm. Interesting. No, I didn't hear anything about that, tell you the truth. I've been so busy with my other personal medical stuff. It's been getting to me, and Tracy's been down to for a while. She hurt herself the other day, so prayers for her. Um Anyways, getting back to the immortal thing, I've got several podcasts in the past where we've talked about the reptilian and the cabal and all that, and what we think is going on, which is what this says. William Tompkins, the abduction and harvesting and eating of children by the Draco Reptilian Illuminati. Okay. That's from William Tompkins. Okay. All the weird stuff that's going on. And we still have these things to worry about. Now they're talking about how basically dinosaurs evolved into two-legged, human-looking reptilians, and the draconians came from another place, whether it's a parallel universe or another planet. I'm not sure, but there's several different reptilian races, and the one is, if not all of them, are shapeshifters. Okay, and that's what I've talked about in a lot of my shows. Is there's a difference. Not everything is a skinwalker. Okay, and trust me, I know that. Not everything we see is a Sasquatch or a Bigfoot. Okay, because if you see red eyes don't lie. Okay, they don't. I believe that when you see red eyes in one of these beings, that you're seeing a shapeshifter. Okay, something that is powerful enough to transcend interdimensionally. Okay, whether you want to call them demons, whether you want to call them Anunnaki, whether you want to call them aliens, it doesn't matter to me. Fallen angels, whatever you want to call them, they're all in the same cabal. Okay, and they have intermixed their bloodline with mortal bloodline, like the Rockefellers, the Rothschilds, um, the Reynolds. That's another family that a lot of people don't even know about. And people have been seeing this gray pope, which is more powerful than the black pope or the white pope. That's a whole nother can of worms. We all know the Vatican archives hide a lot of stuff from people. Okay. And there's going to come a time when people are going to have enough and they're going to start going to these places where a lot of our history is stored and demanding to see it. Okay. Hopefully that'll happen soon enough. I mean, we got Smithsonian that hides things. Smithsonian to this day will tell you there's no such thing as giants. And we all know that's a lie. We know that's a lie. You know, I've seen personal dig sites myself in Ohio where they claim that they found 20 giant skulls and bones. And the average height was 9 feet tall. Well, I mean, it may not be a 30-story building giant, but you know what? To me, a 9-foot tall being is a giant. So then we got tech to worry about. That's coming soon, guys. I guarantee it. And we should be concerned about the 666. CERN uses it. Hollywood uses it. There's so many things that are happening that everything is falling right into sync with. Okay. And unless we wake up and we try to stop it or choose not to do it, I don't know what's going to happen if they try to force people to take it. I don't know. And here's the other thing too. I don't know if does God hold it against people if they put it in a vaccine? You know what I mean? If we are subject to vaccines and not knowing what's in them, like it was for the 2020 cough, okay, are we responsible for accepting the chip willingly? And because that is the one thing that will be the reason for people to be denied to going to heaven is the mark of the beast. Okay. And I just find it very, very upsetting if they tried to coerce naive people into getting a vaccine. Are those naive people going to be persecuted for taking the vaccine that has possibly the mark of the beast in it? You know, or what if they put it into food, or what if, you know, they tell you, oh, you've got to have this certain, you know, chip in your hand, on the back of your hand, to like it shows in the picture here, getting gas, getting groceries and everything, you know. I mean, Neuralink's another one, okay. That could be considered the mark of the beast on the forehead, don't you think? I don't know. Let me see what everybody's talking about in the chat. Let me go to the chat. Let me see here. Yeah, it makes you wonder. It does. They don't have to force people to take it. They are already developing ways to put it in food and without your knowledge. Yeah, David, that's right, brother. That's right. I mean, who knows what they put in the food already? I mean, think about it. You know, that movie, they cloned Tyrone. Man, if nobody's seen that movie, Poncho, good to see you, bro. If nobody has seen that movie, you got to see that movie, man. It'll open your eyes up, man, to what they can do. You talk about all the stuff that they're putting in Popeye's chicken and Chick-fil-A and all this, and their sandwiches, what they're putting in the McDonald's food. You know, it's amazing. They got so many thousands of ways to put stuff in to mark us with the mark of the beast. It's incredible. We gave them so much power over us. Why have we done this? Why have we given up all of our rights and our powers? You know what I'm saying? We've given them the opportunity to kick it up. and to do what they want. And, now I fear that even with all of our patriotic citizens and patriotic vets that are out there, the honest, hardworking, God-fearing gun owners that are the real backbone to this nation, um, will protect this nation at all costs. You know that, and that's hundreds of millions of citizens that have guns that will protect America if it needs to be. Um, and that's just my opinion, okay? And I'm allowed that by law to say that. Um, there's a storm coming, guys, and we really do need to be prepared for it. Yeah, that's the other thing too, though, Ida. I noticed that you say that our votes and our voice count. I'm just not too sold on that right now, to tell you the truth. Because think about it: if our voice counted, we wouldn't have had, and our vote counted, we wouldn't have had the screw up that we had in 2020. Um, they manipulate us and make us think that there's a division, when in actuality we're voting for the blue pill or literally the red pill. Think about it. That's exactly what we're voting for: the blue pill or the red pill. There's never any in between that's going to make it. Just blue or red, blue or red. Just saying. Mm, yeah, they are definitely getting harder. You're right, Starflower. Yeah. Uh, and we don't even really know. I mean, has anybody ever really figured out that we have this whole reason for being here, that we're part of this soul cycle thing that they say nowadays, and I've died a couple times already in my lifetime, and I've seen the light, and I haven't gone to the light. But they're saying nowadays, if you go to the lights, you're going to get your soul is going to be recycled back into another human body, because the light is the light of the exit of a woman's femininity, okay, of being a mother, okay. um, so they say that if you turn around and look behind you, that's where we're from. So hopefully I'll be able to remember that when I cross, because I don't want to be cycled back through. I don't care what kind of agreement they had ahead of time. This world is not for me. Okay, it isn't. Never has been, never will be. So, Corey, good to see you, brother. All right, Poncho, why are you mad? Why are you mad? I gotta hear this. Man, I like watching the chat, guys. You guys are really great in the chat. Oh, you hear me now? Oh, you mean hear me now? Better watch out for 5G, Poncho. They'll get you with it. You know what they found out the 5G does? And by the way, they got 6G coming out here pretty soon too. And that's going to be run by AI. I did some research on that recently, and 6G is definitely coming soon, very soon, like really soon. Well, what happened yesterday, guys, and this is just coming from an old Indian um, patriot, because military, does that to you. It makes you a patriot. Um, Convinces you that you have a country that's worth fighting for, no matter who's in charge. And David and Melissa know that, and several others in the chat know that. The main thing we have to consider and always remember is it's about control. And we have never, ever had control of our individual lives or our lives as a community, because they've always constantly divided us. The easiest way to conquer a people is to divide them. It's like that saying, united we stand, divided we fall. And that holds true. So they try to manipulate us through food and drinks, through movies, they divide us, through religion, they divide us, through education, they divide us. Think about all the divisions they are putting between humanity now, because it's easier to control us. Gives them more of an advantage. It's all a psyop. It's all a psychop. Is all it is. They know that. The powers that be know that. That's why they're hiding in their bunkers like scared little kids. And they should be scared. They really should be scared, because what's coming is going to be the worst thing that this planet has ever seen. And it's coming to a climax. It's coming to a climax, and it's going to happen very soon. I've seen it in visions, and I've seen others talk about it. And it's going to be something, because, Juno, brother, we have a saying, being Native American, Poncho, I'm sure you know this too, that there's a wind of change coming. Those that don't blow clean will get blown away. And that says it all. It really does. It says it all. So anyways, I just wanted to come on here for about an hour today and talk to everybody and just tell them, you know what? As long as we have each other, we have a chance. Okay. And as long as I am able, I will bring us together whenever I can have a podcast, unless I'm out of it in some way, shape, or form. So, we'll be doing another survival podcast this week too. I'm going to try and work that out. I'll be coming on and going over a lot of gear that I think some people should really have. And I'll be doing some giveaways during that too. And what I mean by giveaways, I'll be giving away survival bracelets. Okay. It has the compass on them, the whistle on them, the fire starter on them. Okay. And the paracord. It's literally a 5-in-1 bracelet. Okay. It clips together like that. I'll be giving several of those away. Okay. And some other things. Okay. So look for that. We just need to remember that there's strength in numbers. Okay. And this country was founded on strength and numbers. It was founded on the normal, hardworking people, the people that owned the muskets at the time, um, were the ones that helped make this country. Okay, so we do have gun rights, and they're slowly starting to filter that out. In fact, I would imagine I'd see something to happen, be talked about later today or tomorrow, sometime this week, in the beginning of the week, um, about more gun control. Well, yeah. Anyways, it's just not it's not good. Okay. Let's remember to stick together. Let's remember to watch each other's backs. Stay in contact through emails and messages and stuff. If you see something happening that looks suspicious, or you have any type of paranormal, supernatural encounter, get a hold of me or Eric, and or anybody else that does the investigations and stuff, and knows how to do things. And we'll go from there. Okay. And I will see you all sometime this week. I'll be coming back on. Okay. And doing the survival thing. Everybody, take care. God bless you. Okay. And remember, like my good friend says that has a survival program, stay frosty, stay strapped.